could this be the start of the Paraboy show? You know, Paraboy, one of the best players, hands down, in the game. I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me. Nova Esports looking to really defend their title here. Paraboy, nice little knock right there with the UMP on him. They are going to keep that to themselves. So they're just going to hold it down for the time being and hope that Papa Blue continues to bless that. Looking for the solid placement points. Stalwart Esports also north of that current position. So we might have two Titans here clash very shortly. But besides that, it's a lot of individual plays here, a lot of individual knocks erupting all over the map.
And just to touch up on that RNG factor in Sonic as well, Dave.
Oh, he's coming back to it.
This is where I'm going to throw a curveball at you.
He's
16 teams in the game. 16 teams in the game. One player from each team just doing a heal battle. That means he's going to come down to RNG, hoping that maybe praying to your God, that hoping that, okay, I'm going to get top 5. Just hoping. This means it's an RNG somewhere down the line, right? You're just hoping. All it comes down to is just a little hope. That means it is RNG. It is part of RNG
if you know how to hit the heals, man. Okay. I've seen it too many times. I've seen a team just go out, look for the heals, pass it off to one player. They've been practicing the heal strat for a whole year on Sandhawk. So I'm just saying, RNG, I took that. I threw it out the window on Sandhawk, and we are going to be playing only 3 Sandhawks. Sandhawk will make up 17% of the map pool here for Pubg Mobile Global Championship Grand Finals. So I feel like this map in particular can really change the tides for certain teams that haven't been performing that well. And I believe they can do that by healing for points. I'm sticking by it, Necro. You can't change my mind, man.
Okay, dude. You know what? I'm just gonna give up. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. I'm just gonna let the viewers decide, and I'm just gonna let the analysts decide who are they gonna be favoring in this kind of a little debate that we're having. But yeah, Fenerbahce in the sides of Extruia. Nox Bomb kind of separated out, and he's also knocked out. Is the res gonna be possible? That's the question. If the res is not possible, Nox Bomb being taken out, that means Fenerbahce only left with 2 players to work with. And in the map of Sandhawk, it's going to be quite tough to make it out alive.
One last thing to mention about that. If we see a player heal this game, get solid placement points, point proven. Easy as that. I'm going to leave it at that. We'll see what happens. That's how it works. We'll see what happens late game. If we see 1 or 2 players healing and they go from like a 10th place to a 3rd place, I'm dropping the mic. I'm walking away. And you owe me a sorry in the DMs. All right, I'm going to leave it there. So getting back into the game, though, looks like they did swim to the docks. They did get some loot, and then they swam right here. So we're waiting to see where this next zone goes. Look at the Infinity, though, all the way up there. They're in there.
Look at 628 as well, just taking their time and rotating inside the zone, all the way from the left side. Did not want any kind of smoke with any teams. Play things as safe as possible, playing for their lives. Extruia just trying to inflict some pain on Fenerbahce. I mean, Fenerbahce crumbling down. They're on their knees. And Extruia just want to wipe them out of existence.
Hopefully not too soon. 16 teams alive still on this Sandhawk match. 13 minutes deep. So you play for 13 minutes. You get taken out right here, right now. 0 placement points. Like, that is rough. And when we get past the mid to late game, things are going to erupt. Paraboy, driving by the coop. Still alive. Able to avoid those sidelines by a smidge and group up with their teammates.
Extruia still looking pretty good in the position they found themselves in. All 4 players alive. Also have a decent compound to work with. Now, what I'm really worried for over here is going to be Fenerbahce. And somewhere down the line in the future, if the circle moves pretty close to Fenerbahce, there's no way in hell Fenerbahce aren't getting charged on. And to hold the charge, to hold down the fort, Fenerbahce just doesn't have the man number. So this is where a little bit of struggle is going to be seen from the side of Fenerbahce. And I do want to see, are they going to be going for that sneaky play? This is what Duke and Machine is really known for. Or are Fenerbahce going to be trying to fight back? But I'm going to hold on because Stalwart Esports, they might just be caught out in the open.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Fenerbahce point, and kind of looking at Alpha 7 here, I'm somewhat surprised that Mafioso did take those shots because looking back. All right, so Order out here. Oh, we saw Order right there in the kill feed. So Star Esports, Pika could really play spoiler because looks like Action going to be crawling up, and it looks like Action is going to be taking the attention of Mafioso, the one up there on the boulder, just waiting to hit these shots. Oh, Action wants to take it.
Oh, of course he does. His name is Action. He's the man of action, and he wants all the action.
But look, the next zone pop. Next zone pop. So that's going to change up this plan totally for Star Esports, who were possibly looking to push uphill slowly and take the fight with A7 up there. But now all those teams in the north, they need to send it down south somehow and survive.
Talk about godlike, though. They're going to be having a huge threat lingering on their head. Because now Fenerbahce, they as well, it seems like they're having a little bit of casualties on their name themselves, kind of stuck on the bridge. But I'm going to hold on to that one because Furious Gaming, this might just be a huge brain down. And yes, it is. Funny one. Poppy Potro looking to find the other one. And I just like the trigger discipline from the side of Furious Gaming to let them settle inside the vehicle. And when they found the right moment to strike, they did.
Very questionable play from S2G. Four squad mates in a Ronnie. I know the next zone was somewhat shifted far from them here, but four squad mates in a Ronnie, they definitely open up themselves to getting exploded on the complete E-limb. But Poppy Potra right there, I believe getting 2 confirmed, so that was beautiful.
Oh man, fights happening all across the board, including another fight panning out between Infinity and Na'Vi. Another huge fight. Kitsune, the only man left alive in that fight. But for now, we need to cover this one. 628. Man being found. The other man's just inside the house, trying to play things a little safe, trying to play for his life. He's scared to his death. Enigma Galaxy, they have a huge high ground on top of the players of 628, Dave.
Oh, that you talked about godlike. They continue to be favored in these zones. That is exactly what they need. The thing is, we still have 15 teams alive, so they are not out of the thick of it as of right now. Still 0 points if they get taken out right now. But Enigma Galaxy, hot off the press from last game, they almost got that winner chicken dinner. Regardless, you got second place with a ton of kills. Let's see if they can continue on with that momentum, because right now they're trying to keep out 628.
Ooh, and they are able to do so successfully. 628. Man being found, knocked out. Unfortunate outing for 628. Again, I do want to see what the final man is doing for 628. I'm pretty sure he might just be going for the heel battle. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he's all the way down south. It's Yu Yang. He's taking a sweet little time to rotate inside the zone. I'm pretty sure he's going to be meting himself back up. But Nova Paraboy being found. A huge man being taken out. And that's a legendary kill.
Yeah, it looks like Paraboy kind of decided to stay in the back lines and make sure that their teammates can securely reposition. We saw Order and Jimmy both in vehicles trying to get into this new circle. I believe Jimmy hugging that coastline, might even be snaking it right now, trying to avoid those silence from next Rhea. We shall see if they can continue to survive here. 12 teams to go. Yeah. Jimmy, I like that spot as long as they're not going to be spotted.
As you mentioned, Jimmy's spot definitely pretty good. But again, as long as he's not being spotted. And also at the same time, he'll need to leave the spot anytime soon, because the wall of death is moving right behind him. And he needs to make sure that he's making his mark inside the zone as quick as possible because next Ria will 100% would want to try and hold him off at bay. So Jimmy, he needs to make his mark inside the zone. Things are getting so intense this late in the game of Sandhawk. Infinity as well kind of locked out the zone. They're also taking a lot of damage from the Wall of Death. A lot of pressure on all these teams, man.
Looks like Jimmy's just going to watch that one limb point kind of slip through their fingers out there in the distance, but surviving is definitely better than that one limb point. So the Infinity out here, down here towards the south, trying to make their way on into the play zone. But first, they're going to be popping up, backstabbing Xavier. At the end of the day, though, you got Next Ria kind of gatekeeping this whole side of the zone. I don't see any of these teams currently in the blue coming out on top with Next Ria still alive, pumping out those numbers, currently with 8 limb points to their name.
Oh my god. Just look at the circle shift as well, Dave. Out in the open, kind of close to Fenerbahce. Enigma Galaxy, they've already made their mark inside, but Fenerbahce, they have a huge pressure on their shoulders because we see Next Ria closing their distance from the back. Next Ria will get this bridge control easily, but bridge control also means you're going to be exposed from quite a lot of angles.
Enigma Galaxy, aka the Zone Magnets here. The Zone Magnets, they know how to pick these spots. And that one taken out right there. Enigma Galaxy, they got a second place last game. So they still got 4 up this game. Let's see if they can clutch out that winner chicken dinner that they were so close to acquiring last match.
Dave, but Jimmy can be the game changer for Enigma. If he's even able to take 2 players out for Enigma, this can change the entire tide. Look at how safe and look at how silent and how quiet Jimmy's being with the position he has for himself. Has a lot of info. And I'm pretty sure he's trying his best to hold the nerve for this gun. The zone as well, the Wall of Death kind of engulfing him. He needs to make his mark inside the zone. So much pressure on this solo man.
Oh, got him. Oh, the Duke Machine knew for a fact they were going to get taken out. Jimmy, though, yeah, to your point, could play spoiler, but remember, Jimmy's by themselves. So Jimmy will not have any help if they do decide to expose their position. That's why I believe Jimmy's going to be trying to heal up right now. Currently 5 teams to go. Enigma Galaxy with 4. Next Rio with 4. Everybody else down to a solo.
Oh, man, Jimmy needs to move inside the zone, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be exposed to doing so. And yep, as I mentioned, Freak spots a little glimpse, and that's going to be enough. Jimmy being taken care of, no while at the game. Top 4 teams alive, Dave. This is where it gets a little bit more intense. Next Ria taking a little shots onto themselves. It's a 4-on-4 situation in here.
Yeah, 4 teams to go next Ria. They are going to be tossing out some smokes to try to bridge that gap, get behind that hard cover of the boulder within grenade range. You're trying to connect these grenades onto Lord, who is doing the same exact thing. But look at over there on that off angle. Looks like Frozen trying to reposition. Freak is on their knees in a smoke. They're looking for that pickup, but this is going to be a solid 4v4 right here. And Moody, I love this spot. Talk about the intel that they're able to gather right there behind that boulder.
Oh, man, but the pressure's on Next Ria without a doubt because Enigma Galaxy, they just seem that they have so much confidence, also a little bit of high ground to work with, and they're able to turn it into a victory without a doubt. And now it's just down to the Infinity and Xavier, and they're just going for those heal battle. Okay, Dave, please. I do not want to hear it. I do not want to hear it, Dave. Just stay quiet, please.
Hey, talk about the heal. Xavier, Infinity. That's the strat, man. You're down to a solo. Just heal it out for these placement points. And it pays off big time. I'm telling you. Look at the points. They're going to shift so much on the overall leaderboard because the 3rd place is 10 points and the 2nd place is 12 points. So this is exactly what these 2 squads needed here for the overall.
Oh, man. Exactly what these 2 squads needed. And finally...
dancing.
Finally, the final man is going to be falling down as well. And yeah, Enigma Galaxy, they just know. Yeah, they're dancing at this point. Just throwing a little bit of moves as well. You know, just... yeah, this is the victory dance right there, ladies and gentlemen. Enigma Galaxy are going to be your winners of the map of Sandhawk. Just in no time. He only has 2. Now the final first aid is going to be utilized.
Shout out the Freak right there. Enigma Galaxy, they got a 2nd place last game, a bunch of kills. They got 8 limb points this game, and a winner chicken dinner that nets you 15 points. Enigma Galaxy, they are straight slaying it here so far on day number 1. And with 3 more matches to go here today, I have to assume the team, Enigma Galaxy, their mental, their confidence right now has to be at an all-time high.
Oh, it has to be, without a doubt. I'm in the zone as well, as you mentioned, favoring them, and this is the exact reason why they won. Again, I mean, Dave, here also kind of my point got proven, right? I mean, the zone got gifted Enigma Galaxy. All they needed to do was just make the mark in there. They did easily. All the teams that were outside the zone couldn't really make it inside the zone in time because there was just so many guys watching each other out. Enigma Galaxy were easily able to conquer that game of Sandhawk.
The thing is, I don't know how much you could say it was gifted because now this is two games in a row where they picked the position very early on. They held it down and they rotated accordingly, and then they just ended up with 4 alive late game. Like there's just too much luck out there to say, oh, they're being lucky, compared to like this is planned in advance, in my opinion. But regardless, we'll see what will happen in the next 3 matches. Necro, it was a phenomenal match of Sandhawk. Let's hear what the desk had to say. Will they rip me on my my men's trap take? Let's see. Let's find out.
Mustache Dave, I can never rip you. Thank you, two gentlemen, for putting on a phenomenal cast, actually. Phenomenal match, phenomenal casting done by you two gentlemen. Enigma Galaxy being phenomenal over the course of this entire event so far. I don't know if it's just Mustache Dave and Necro luck, but Enigma Galaxy 7, I believe you said, second place game 1, second place game 2, chicken dinner game 3. Is this the team with the region, as Max said, has been the most improved this last year, who's going to take home $1.5 million?
It definitely has. I mean, remember last year, Pmgc, right? We had Zeus, came out of nowhere. This could be it with Enigma Galaxy as well. And not only just the second place, I'm also very impressed at the amount of ilms they've been able to get. On the first match, they were only able to get just 1 ilm, but then on the second match, they were able to improve so much and being able to get 9 ilms. And in this last one, 8 ilms as well. I think that improvement is huge.
Yeah, I think that was the main issue I had actually with Enigma Galaxy in the past, is they would not be fragging out, getting those eliminations consistently. But here they actually, I think they saw that circle at the end, like, wait, it actually came our way. Like, we're not used to this. We're actually in the circle in Sandhawk. What's going on right now?
Yeah.
They just fragged out. They made sure that Next Rio were not able to push in that game. But also Next Rio had a great game, but unable to make it happen
It was
because
like
that
11
push,
limbs.
yeah, I think it was, but that push was so hard, and Next Rio just unfortunately got completely shut down by that push from Enigma. So Enigma played it so well at the end.
Yeah, and I think they kind of showed us some depth in their play, right? Every time on Sandhawk, I feel like they always played heal up. They always like, Aruf, take all of our first aids, go out in the blue, we'll see you later, we'll see you next match. But they actually showed, hey, if they can play towards the zone, they can do fairly well. They get themselves 8 eliminations, so 23 points in total. They were second place going into this match. I guarantee you they're going to be first place coming out. But also, next three, as you mentioned, Max, 11 eliminations, but also Infinity. Again, showing how consistent they can be on a map like Sandhawk.
Yeah, they were playing on the eastern side of the bridge. Of course, that circle at the very end, I think it was phase 8 that went over to the western side in favor, of course, of Enigma Galaxy, as you saw in that game. So they just understood, okay, we're not going to make that cross happen because we're not going to have that third party. It's not going to work out. Give all the first aids over to Goltani and heal off. I think he had maybe like around 10 first aids towards the end of that game, but they were still trying to get those eliminations early on. It was a little bit lackluster in terms of eliminations, but still able to get a top 3. You talked about it earlier, right, Jason, how they can consistently make into the podium finish. It's because of their adaptability. No matter if they have to go aggressive or heal off, they are going to go for the right play 99% of the time.
And team that definitely got some points that needed it was for Rivals. They ended up, I believe, with 7 points, and it ended up being 6 out of those points were ilm. So I think that's huge for them. It's definitely gonna kind of break off that downslope that they were on. And another thing, as we are seeing the MVP right here, Nihat, can we talk about Max? The hot drop that we were hyping up for the longest time, and just how correct Jason was as telling us it wasn't gonna happen.
I'm the analyst now. I mean, let's be honest, right? There is that potential for hot drops, but realistically, it just shouldn't happen right now because it's too risky.
Yeah. It's their usual playstyle, which is normally drop boot camp, go to the southern position towards boot camp. They didn't go for that exact spot, but it's very close. They just cut away the middleman and just make sure we're just going to drop in that position, get the loot there, and remain in that position for a big portion of the game, which worked out pretty significantly at the start of it. But unfortunately, as you saw, they didn't make it to that top 3 podium finish, though. You talked about it, Jason. First place with 57 points going to be Enigma Galaxy. How consistent are these guys right now? This is not what I expected.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of what we saw to them. Remember, they had 47 points at the end of the very first Super Weekend. Out of 15 matches played, 47 points. They've already broken that in 3 matches here in the Grand Finals. I think that really is a testament to how much they've improved here since the league stage, but also more importantly, that they are a formidable force.
You know which other team I'm looking at here that I'm getting a little bit worried about?
Navi.
Yes,
Yeah.
Navi. And going back to the main reason what I was saying earlier is this is a team that's not able to carry momentum at all. And with the currently downslope that they're playing on, this is reminding me exactly how they started off Wesley. And we haven't even played some of the other Erangels. I am very interested to see now that I know Alpha 7 is willing to adjust. Now that I know they're willing to not put that ego. I mean, I guess 1.5 million will do that to you, but it's gonna be interesting if Navi's gonna be able to take advantage of that.
Also, shout out to Deke Xavier. I think we give him a lot of criticism in the finals of like maybe not deserving of that second place finish. But hey, they're currently in top 8 at the moment. And also, for you guys at home, not only are we talking about players getting rewards and getting victories, you guys have already pulled off a big victory here for the entire stream. We have hit the 1 million viewers. You can see the token CD key at the very top of your screen. Head over to pubgmobile.com/redeem to redeem those and get 1,200 tokens that you can use to buy yourself some lucky things. But anyways, we still, maybe tomorrow, maybe we'll bump it up. Maybe we'll do like, if we hit 2 million live viewers, Maxman will shave his head live on stream here. I have Clippers back at the hotel.
Yes.
Maybe we can make it happen.
Yes.
We're not going to do that.
No,
I'm all for
we can
this.
try to make it work. We'll see if we can talk to Tencent.
It's already
maybe bump
halfway
it
there.
up.
It's fine. Just got to get rid of the rest.
I mean,
Is that a yes? You're gonna do it?
no, don't. I'm helping you.
I'll think about
don't say anything. Yeah,
Oh,
there we go. That's
I'll
best.
think about
That's best. But what about some other teams? Maybe surprises, maybe letdowns. We were talking about Navi a little bit.
Fury's Gaming. I'm
Okay.
actually really surprised with this team. This is a team that relied heavily on their chicken dinners as they were able to back up. And I'm going back to the West right here, Pmgc West. They had 2 chicken dinners, and those 2 chicken dinners with 19 ilms. They rely heavily on that. Remember, Max, we were talking about that. And right now, so far, I mean, they started off the day pretty well in that Erangel, but so far, nothing's working for them. And if they want to be that first place team, they just can't be relying on hopefully getting the chicken dinner and hopefully trying to get 19 ilms, because the way the lobby is right now, I don't see that happening.
I think they had, what was it, 46 eliminations in 3 games
Yeah.
where they got the chicken dinners. You take those 3 games away, they don't qualify for this tournament, right? So we need to see more consistency. The games that are not happening, if they can get maybe 3, 4 eliminations here and there, a few extra positioning points, that is the type of consistency that will allow you to potentially get close. And when you get those big games, that's going to forward you up in potentially the top 3, top 5 positions. So we need to see a big step on from Furious, because right now they've just been a little bit too silent, in my opinion.
Well, I could throw another one at you. We're talking about a team who might not have qualified without those 2 big wins with eliminations. What about 628 from PEL, qualifying in the very last match of the entire event? They're currently bottom of the table at the moment.
Yeah, that was like the Yu Yang, but we haven't seen much of Yu Yang and all of his 6-8 so far, unfortunately. I'm going to pay close attention for them next game, because they just go out super early and they just get taken out outside of the circle. I'm going to look exactly what's going wrong, because it's just nothing's sticking right now.
Well, I bring them up also because we were talking over dinner yesterday. We were talking about like teams we expect to do well and teams that could be the underdog that could do well. And 628 was your choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to bash on you in whatsoever, but
Okay,
what
I
I'm
just
saying
got
is like
some.
they're really having a hard time right now, which is surprising because teams from China are so strong. But you know what? We'll get into that a little bit later on. We do have a recap coming up at you here in just a few seconds. And again, I'm going to assume it's going to be our victors. I'm going to assume it's going to be Enigma Galaxy. And we'll see here in just a second if it's going to be happening.
I would love to see how they're going to be.
You went from really
all the
smiley
rotation.
to serious really fast.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see that rotation. All right. I was paying attention close to the hot drop at the start of the game. It didn't happen, and then he just kind of fell down from there. Also, STE and Alpha 7, I feel like maybe hot dropping each other might have been the play in that last one, because it didn't really actually end up working out for them. Oh man, you got
we
me.
saw your real
You
height
guys
there for a
got me.
second.
I was hoping. I was ready for that recap. It didn't happen, Jason.
Get off that box. We know now.
Hey,
we know it's there. No, we're going to be looking towards the late game circles, and this is actually circles. It's pretty tricky to play, I would say, because here's just a full commit. Or we go to the eastern side, or you go to the western side, and depending on where the circle goes, you have a very big chance of confirming that win. And you're looking at this, you're thinking that there's no way it's going to go to the western side, right? The odds are it's going to go towards Quarry, it's going to go towards.
You wanted to see Cave.
The cave position, which I love those cave finishes, didn't quite happen this time. And this is the moment Enigma Galaxy were like, wait, are we 4 men alive in circle at this stage of the game? That just doesn't happen. And they just had all the teams come their way and just pick it up one by one as they were going to the market in the morning.
But they played it so well right there. They decided to stay outside the circle. They decided to just wait and see how some of the other teams were playing. I mean, they waited perfectly for next Ria. I was actually surprised. Next Ria had 4 players themselves. All of a sudden, I blink and they're gone.
Yep.
In a matter of just 1 second, Max.
Yeah, though next ref, you want to say one thing that was really strong from them. They went for a fantastic push onto Finette batteries. I think we're holding a big portion of that bridge, so they knew they had to commit to that position. They held it well. They made sure that, for example, Infinity could not make that cross happen, but when it came to pushing on a position that was already locked down by Nigma Galaxy, they had that little high ground position, that little hilltop. In third-person mode, you know that position is going to be even more valuable, and they could not make ends reach at the very end. So yeah, Nigma Galaxy able to make it as a four-man, get themselves a win with 8 eliminations. On top of that, if they can make this happen on other maps too, they already got themselves 2 second places. If they can get wins on now Miramar and Erangel, I'm going to be pumped for the Arabic team because they might be able to make it in first place here.
I can definitely see it happening. We're not seeing it here, but during this game, I was looking at Godlike. Remember how I was talking about that was the team that was going to rotate in late. They got blessed with this circle, but it seemed like they just weren't able to take advantage of it. They did only have 2 players, as we saw Jonathan being able to just kind of get caught as they were rotating. But I was hoping we would be able to see a little bit more. It seemed that they just, once again, they waited too late to be able to position themselves for the next circle. So hopefully they'll be able to acknowledge that and start changing it.
Oh, you can really see the POV here coming out. That spread from Nigma Galaxy just made to make sure there was no angles from which next Rare could actually enter from. That is good. They went for, I think that was a 1-2-1. Yeah, there was a 1-2-1, and they were just making sure they had all of that position locked down and then got turning. Trying to make it in. The emotes, of course, in class because you know that was in the bank.
It's so funny because normally the coin or the shoes on the other foot, the coins flip in the other hand. I don't remember the saying. Usually it's like Infinity who's like in the zone waiting to finish off the game, and Enigma Galaxy are out there healing. But this time it was Infinity out there healing, and Enigma Galaxy just they're dancing, waiting for their victory, waiting for that chicken dinner, obviously waiting to potentially take home $1.5 million. But we still have so many matches to come, right? We're only at the halfway point of the day. It's 6 matches a day, and we do have our winter across 3 days, and we're gonna find some other teams to step up. I feel like yes, we're seeing some consistency at the top. We've seen Infinity do relatively well. We've seen the Big Galaxy do relatively well. Alpha 7 as well. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, things will be shifted up.
Yes.
Not because I know the script, not because I know what's going to happen, because
You read it again?
I did read it again.
You read it again.
I learned how to read. But it's more about there's still so many good teams.
Yeah.
And there's still so much action to happen. But it's coming up after a short break. We'll see you guys in just a few minutes before we get into our 4th match.
Homes are now where we work, learn, and play. Oops. Homes are where we build spaces call our own. Power on and beyond with Singapore's most trusted broadband. I saw the first light, the first steps. Now I see much more. I capture Earth in all its beauty. I see action. I see drama. And I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration. And the first steps. I am the 1+9.
Welcome back, everyone, here for some more PUBG Mobile action. We are halfway done with our day, but not halfway done with the event. So don't worry, you didn't miss out on too much. And if you did, it doesn't matter. You can hit the rewind button. You can go back and watch it yourselves and recap what happened throughout the day before we get into our second day of play, which is still coming up. When, Max? Tomorrow? Okay, I wasn't sure if you were listening. I'm glad. I was a little bit nervous, and I think I saw a look in your eyes like, oh god, what did he just ask me?
Like 1 + 1 2 tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, we do have Aaron Go coming up next, so we can see here a quick little recap of our highest damage dealers in the last match. We actually see, I mean, you have Z-God in there coming in from Godlike, you have Nihat coming in from Nextruda, you have no one from Enigma Galaxy actually there, even though they had 8 eliminations.
Because they wanted to play the blue. That's the thing. They wanted to play the blue, but things did not go as planned for them, and it's fine. It worked out great. They had 4 players, got themselves a chicken dinner, exactly what you want to see. No, we didn't talk too much about Godlike in this game. I like the initiative to try and go for Camp Charlie. It's not positioned as super common to play early on, right? And he saw the circle continuously going down south towards that cave position, which I hoped he would have gone. Unfortunately, it didn't quite towards the end, but they lost 2 players early on. But it was a good idea. It's a position that they took a risk, and it almost paid off.
I would like to continue to see the changes, though.
Yeah. This is really interesting. You can see like the breakdown of points actually between the teams. I mean, Enigma Galaxy, they have a lot of placements and not a lot of eliminations. I think it was only 19, but 19 actually, to be fair, is still a ton. But anyways, you guys at home who are watching, when you watch PMGC, you know every single time we get to the grand finals, we have a lovely little video and an announcement of what's coming up in this next year. We have James Yang yet again coming in, the director of PUBG Mobile Global Esports, to tell us what's in store here for 2022. We had our predictions of what the prize pool is going to be. We'll see which one's going to be right as we take a look at this.
I'm James Yang, the director of Mobile Esports. Well, we've already seen 5 amazing years of PUBG Mobile action. Today, I'm here with you to announce some exciting and amazing news. Let's jump into them. From 2018 to 2021, we have continued to build the PUBG Mobile global esports ecosystem. In 2021, we started 7 new pro leagues to cover all regions globally, and also started Pmgc 2021. The overall ecosystem building is completed. So I can say PUBG Mobile Esports 1.0 is done. Now it's a time to move on to the next phase. This year we start PUBG Mobile Esports 2.0. The goal of 2.0 is to make this ecosystem pyramid bigger and stronger. The first step in 2022 is to enhance the local regional layer for amateur and semi-pro to be more solid foundation. With a stable base, the structure cannot grow, as you know. There are many changes and upgrades, and you can find the details in our upcoming news and posts. But the key change is from our previous format of PMCO to PMPL twice per year to PMNC and regional cups to PMPL once per year. Various tournaments, including PMCO, PMCC, and even major third-party events, will have qualifying slots for the relevant PMNC in 11 countries and regional cups in 8 regions. This is the overall esports schedule in 2022. The noticeable thing is, PUBG Mobile is honorably selected as the official medal spot in both the Southeast Asia Games and Asian Games. The pro players will represent their own country, and it will be a great honor for these talented pros. The tournament pipeline in pro is similar to this year's, but as you have seen, semi-pro and amateur pipeline has changed much. In short, if you want to grab a chance to play in a pro league, you don't need to wait for PMCO. And to top this all off, The 2022 total prize pool will be even bigger than 2021's. We'll be announcing the prize pool later, so look out for that announcement. Another important step for PUBG Mobile Esports 2.0 is to make the ecosystem stronger. We'll start a franchise model in the second half of 2022, first in Southeast Asia. Our franchise model will be different from other existing models. It will be lighter and more open. The detailed information will be shared soon. So, that's all we have for now. Let's go back to the thrilling matches of Pmgc 2021 Grand Finals. A time to enjoy. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah!
I don't know about you guys, but James Yang is looking ripped. Oh my god, I need to get like his personal trainer, his workout plan, his diet plan, because he is looking strong as hell. But also, we saw the prize pool to be bigger than this year, so at least $14 million.
Man, it's already insane to think that just first place team in this tournament is going to get 1.5 million. If it's increased even more, it might be like 2 million for next tournament. That is insane to think that mobile esports is growing so much, especially PUBG Mobile. And man, next year you better get in. That's some big money.
More lives will be changed. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, cannot wait to see the breakdown next year. For you guys at home, to remind you once again that OnePlus, our sponsor here, the OnePlus 9 Pro delivers ultra smooth gaming at 90 FPS. Make sure to check them out. If you don't have it, well, Max, maybe you could have qualified for PMCO. Maybe I could actually be decent at the game if I pick myself up one of those. Max,
I'm sorry. I'm breaking everything. It's cool.
this is why we can't have you in the middle. We can't have you near anything
I'll
because
go in
you're
the
just
back,
going to break it. Yeah, he's going to go back behind the trophy to hide. But also Singtel for providing PMGC with its amazing high-speed network as well over in Singapore. They were helping provide everything we need here at PMGC to make this all possible. But gentlemen, we're about coming into our next match of the day. Our teams to watch. I'm trying to remember who I chose. I'm gonna guess my own choice because I don't remember what I chose. For me, I think I went with Nova because they were looking pretty good in match one.
Okay.
They were picking up a lot of eliminations. I think they had 8, and I think that's why I chose them.
Is it?
Is it? Did I
gonna-
choose Nova? Okay,
Hey,
good. All right.
good job.
So I might not have actually chosen. They might have just like, okay, we gotta change
We've got to
it real
fix
quick. We
it.
gotta help
Make
them
it
out.
look good.
All right, back to you guys.
I went with Navi personally. I think that they have blinders on right now and they're just very focused on fights. I want to see a little bit more awareness. So if I want to see a team step up on the Wrangle match, which is where they typically have some really good results, I think it could happen now.
I went with Furious Gaming. I think we're past now. This is going to be past now, the halfway point of the first day. I don't want them to be relying on just getting those big chicken dinners with those big illims. It's not going to happen, especially with the way we're now seeing how this lobby's playing out. Hopefully, Furious Gaming, they'll be able to kind of snap out of the downslope that they're on right now.
I mean, to be fair to them, right? They are playing against the highest caliber teams they've ever played in their careers. I mean, playing in West, obviously really good teams there as well. But now you're playing against like the Chinese teams, the Eastern teams. Things become much more difficult, and for them, maybe day one won't be their jam, but maybe the time they have between day one and day two to recoup, figure some things out, maybe they will have a big step up in day two.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying things out. They even use the sub, right? They're subbing players in and out, so they're actually trying to find what sticks potentially. So they're trying things, maybe use so rotations, their macro, their micro. So they're going to try and adapt, right? You still got 2 more days of play after this, but the thing is, one bad day could be already your chances of being in the top 3 podium already out of order. So you need to have a big step up in day 2 and day 3 here.
Something that a lot of West teams are starting to notice, and something that I noticed in the last game too, is you cannot miss your shots. And I'm going to call out Mafioso. Mafioso was able to miss some shots. He had the height advantage. He had the cover too. But the SC player was just able to realize that. He was able to locate him and actually cause damage on him. And Mafioso didn't end up doing anything. So for this team, especially from the West, if you see an opportunity, you have to take it and you have to make sure you're definitely hitting those shots.
And one man that knows everything about height advantages is going to be him here on the end. Let's actually bring in our commentators, though, for the first time here in the PMGC Grand Finals. John Allen and Blake, the men, the myth, the legends.
Thank you, Jason, for that lovely introduction. I'm just still hyped from that James Yang outro, man. I was having a good time. Whoa, okay.
I'm a US now. Let's go. I'm going fast. I'm getting
Absolutely.
into PMGC 2021. I'm happy to be here. And you know, Jason's completely right. If there's anyone who knows about height advantages, it is 7. With that box, it gives him unparalleled power on that desk. He's looking good. I like the Furious Gaming pick. You know, it wouldn't be my first pick, but looking at West overall, John, honestly, they were a cool competitor for me. I think that they have some potential, just haven't seen too much of it yet. So maybe here in Erangel, it's time. Maybe with the blessing of 7, who knows?
Absolutely. You know what I want to see? I want to see a desk, Jason, Blair, and 7. That's what I want to see. I think that would be great fun.
What, just the green giant and 2 hobbits?
I don't think. Oh dear. Oh, absolutely. I would greatly enjoy that. I think that would be a great time. But I'll tell you what else is a great time. This plane path, very central, pretty kind to everybody on this Erangel drop. I mean, we did have that sort of melee circle last time. It was cruel. We'll see a little bit kinder times this time.
Yeah, people didn't like that. I think one team that played that out pretty well, and I'm going to give them credit for it, was Down One Gaming. You know, they had Shack and then got a really nice squad wipe. Used that ability and that time to cross the actual river between Sosnovka, well, more like channel between Sosnovka and the main island, and got on. Obviously, it's not ideal, but I think we were discussing this, John, and you made a really good point and said that, you know, it was the right play in the moment. Unfortunately, the right play doesn't always result in a win, unfortunately, but I do think Dan One's still making those right plays. However, their overall caliber of team fighters in this lobby has been elevated a lot. Having Western here, we know West is an aggressive region overall. Whenever I've actually casted or watched games from the West, there's usually eliminations going on in the first minute most of the time. We're seeing that a lot more frequently here in the Pmgc Grand Finals that we didn't see in Eastleigh.
Yeah, and so maybe it's being a little bit forced onto those Eastern teams. And the question is, can they adapt to that? Can they change around it? But for now, I mean, Enigma Galaxy repping the East fairly strong. I have to say, I mean, their points total's great. We've had a couple of criticisms as to, you know, how they've gotten those points, but you can't argue with the results.
Yeah, exactly. And just how beautiful this PMG Scar L skid is.
Ooh.
You know, the circles have also been equally beautiful coming through for the guys at Enigma Galaxy. You can see that in just that stat total we actually saw over on the desk, in which case a lot of the placement points is the grand majority of the amount of overall rankings that they've been able to put in here, John. You know, their eliminations aren't too high. We saw that over at Miramar with that crazy southern shift down towards the coast side where they practically just stayed in that shack, in that compound the entire time. But I do think that that play means a whole lot just in terms of the game there. I think when you look at it, like, not being able to win that game says a lot about Enigma Galaxy. Now, they're a team that, yes, I'm still a fan of, and I love the way they play Sandhawk, and finally they come away with the first place rather than the second place there. But still, there are things that are wrong with this team. Not to say that right now that first place isn't deserved. A lot of the games they haven't played correctly. Second into a first. It's nothing to shake your head at, really.
So what you're saying is, if you were to get those PMGC player cards, you wouldn't be necessarily choosing Enigma Galaxy at this point. You would summon maybe some of the other PUBG Mobile teams to collect them to go and win some of your battles.
Yeah, obviously, what I'd say is I'd put Ralph in defense mode, and I would put Top in attack mode. That's the way it would go around, honestly. But I do think I would probably summon Ralph. That guy is a genius of Sandhawk. He really has the numbers, the strats all worked out. Mainly the numbers in terms of the first aid kits that he's usually holding. But, you know, that is something that we'll leave for another day. We do have a total of 1 million viewers watching right now. So thank you so much to everyone at home. And yes, it is a big wow, John. Wow to you guys. Honestly, go redeem your tokens. You deserve them. Get yourself some great rewards. And maybe there'll be some more rewards throughout the entirety of this tournament. But you'll have to watch out for that, because we're still watching out for that grand prize pool being announced for 2022, which we're all excited for. But there is that 1.5 million on the line right now for the PMGC Grand Finals.
God, do you know what? All the prize pool I need is James's little dances at the end of those segments. I absolutely love. I live for that. It's so good.
We do, and like Jason said, he looks like he's been working out. You know, he's been in the gym. You know, his moves were fluid this time around. He looked good, and yeah, that dance really was the cherry on the top of the cake there. We love to see it. Nova, Jimmy, drops down. We'll just be sitting over by Gakka side. They have this 2-2 split going on. It's fairly okay. There's not really a lot of players around their location. I think the most congested spot is actually probably Pachinki at the moment with Damwon Gaming and Nigma Galaxy. Nigma Galaxy currently sat very solidly within Pachinki, yet Damwon Gaming's off to their northern side, potentially trying to find a place to find home. They have gone very central. This is more akin to what we saw in their league finals, where they were able to put up some mad numbers.
Mad numbers on the mind at the moment. A good gap for Nigma Galaxy as we hop on board there in Pachinki. Being a little bit northwest, and look at that Lord giving it to him. Glasses up the nose. That's how you know he's serious.
I know, right? He's logged in. He's locked on. Doesn't have his glasses in game though. Doesn't need them with the phone that close to his face. You know, that's fine. We don't need that. He's not going to go for that eye damage. He doesn't need the glasses getting in the way. And realistically, he just needs them to see far, far away. And right now, victory is close to his future, as we can see right now with the points currently on screen. 57, first place. Second place sat at 39. Good stuff from Enigma Galaxy. Again, cannot fault them. But his next Ryu is really kind of like that wild card for me, because they came out firing on all cylinders in that finals for West, but their league play it wasn't really all that astonishing, to be honest with you. But they do look like a good team to me. I'm still rooting for them. I think they found them some very good positions with the map and the circles so far, and I think they've fell prey to quite a few of these third parties, unfortunately.
A regular pattern. I'm gonna loop back a little bit to what we saw in East League is the rotation from the Infinity, from this military base drop that they've gone for at the moment. Generally, it was guarded out by Reject over on that bridge. It started out a little bit 6-8 guarded, and then Reject sort of took over that. And now Reject not in the lobby. S2G are in the way, but they might not be guarding it in the same sort of fortitude as we saw from Reject. So it might make the Infinity's games a little bit easier.
Still, S2G, very, very spiky opponents. They're extremely hot-headed team, honestly, and not in a bad way either. I think when they come into a fight, they definitely fight with passion. I think that's the main thing that we can take away from S2G, is that some of their team fighting ability is extremely strong. Just taking a look at some of the West that I was able to pick up on, and for me, I think S2G is a team that can get towards the top of the lobby. Fortunately, they're lagging behind a little bit. And in a 3-day stint, you really want to start off strong, which is why it's so dangerous letting Enigma Galaxy get towards the top here, when this team really does rely on those steady and consistent points, especially from Sandhog. They do it well on Erangel and now also on Miramar, and that's terrifying for me. And I think Enigma Galaxy getting a good head start like this is something they can keep up with. I don't think Enigma Galaxy is the most flashy team in the world, but they certainly put up points when they need to.
Absolutely. I mean, they're on 50 set. That's almost a 20-point average, right? From 3 games, a phenomenal start to proceedings, but that is subject to future variance as well, right? It's likely that they're going to see some 1, 2, 3-point games over the course of this 18-game set, and we'll have to see when that starts to come through, because the later that happens, the less likely that it is to happen, right? As soon as you lock in those big points totals, it gets less likely that you're going to drop off on that variance.
And I do think that, you know, last little point on Nigma Galaxy here, if you are a fan of the Arabian region, right, like Nigma Galaxy is doing something that we have never seen from an Arabic team before, and that is really topping the tables over in these teams where we're playing with the best of the best. Usually, we do have an Arabian team that gets in and does decently well, but it's more towards the bottom of those rankings, whereas Nigma Galaxy right now, they are putting a statement on, and realistically, they're a fantastic Arabic team, and it's good to see this kind of change come about when we just haven't seen that so far in a long, long time. Taking a look right now, though, at the map, heads up towards the northern side with this circle. Going to cause a fair few problems, especially with so many teams down towards the south side of the island. On the other hand, Alpha 7 make their little run away from that top side of the map towards Severny. Team Secret, they will have to weather the storm. That is the big problem for them right now. They're in a very, very much contested area within that tree line. A lot of teams will be heading through this way, so if they get caught off guard, because the tree line will keep them hidden, but they'll also keep other teams that move into their area hidden as well. So they're going to really have to be aware of their surroundings.
They should be aware of the teams approaching, though, because it's likely that the teams from the south are going to sort of swing in from the sides in those vehicle rotations and try and find a spot that way. Should give that little bit of info. It depends on the split that Team Secret take, right, as to what sort of information they can gather. Nigma Galaxy, though, they found a little bit of trouble against the four rivals, and Ralph does go down. Fenerbahce actually taking that flush, and they get away with it. It's a full point, and it's clean.
I think for Nigma Galaxy, you know, this is one of the weaker points, is they're sticking around in the place far too long. Usually it works out for them because we have seen circles that have gone in their favor, but they stuck towards Pmgc for a very, very long time there, John. By the time they move up, there's already teams all around them. You had Fenerbahce moving into that fight, as well as four rivals on top of Rozhok Hill. They have great sight lines all over the place, so getting a quick knock in and allowing that to be picked up by someone else. Yes, it doesn't give four rivals a point, but it gives them a general indication of the players in their surrounding area, and this is fine for them. That's why you play Rozhok Hill. That information gathering is amazing.
Xavier moving up a little bit closer to that river, to that bridge. Maybe looking to cross a little bit later. Stalwart. They came out swinging with a really strong chicken dinner, and they are still sat in that third place position, so still very much in contention for that top spot. See how much further they can go.
I think playing from Novo really requires Stalwart to play this edge play style, right? I think for Stalwart, they have some very good movements towards the middle and the end of the game, right, John? Where they're able to get around the map is beautiful. S2G chiming in here towards Nigma Galaxy, taking a few shots. Modi drops to the floor in a puff of smoke. We'll have to crawl back to the rest of his team to get back picked up again. But I don't think S2G is going to continue this too much, especially with Nigma Galaxy now firmly within the warm embrace of concrete.
They have already
Cold
lost a
embrace, I
player. Well, it depends how many bullets you shoot at it, I suppose. You've got to
True.
send that kinetic energy somewhere. Has to disperse somehow, but S2G, you've got to make it a little bit hotter as they crash straight into the ground floor of the garage. Timber lighting a fire underneath them, starting to spark it. Not really going too much further than the staircase. Doesn't want to step too far out of line. Another bouncer. Doesn't quite find a Modi there. Doesn't actually take the full knock, and just the sliver of HP keeps Nigma Galaxy at 3 standing. Silas on the off angle, and there's a nade from Timber. Sends the second one out, and that will do the job. Timber down the stairs, takes care of Freak as well. He's on to 2 now. And he turns around now. It's just Law to deal with. Silas in for the backup. Rip 7. Healing up in the sidelines, but it looks like Nigma Galaxy's reign might be coming to a stop just now. Silas around the wall, but it's teammates working together. S2G take down the top dog.
Really, really well played to S2G there. You know, we were talking about them earlier, just this passionate team full of fire, and that's what we like to see from her. They could certainly take these compound finishes. You know, back when we saw a fair few of these players on Cloud's Digital Athletics, you know, their compound play was unrivaled a lot of times, and I think it was those off angles that looked so good, specifically from Silas, and he makes it look easy there. And regardless of what happened in that fight, Silas would have been able to pick up the pieces. So very good setup coming through from S2G, and that'll halt Nigma Galaxy. Now this is a really big opening now for Stalwart. You see them on your screen. They're moving across Yaz West Bridge, so they're beginning over towards the top side of this circle. But with so much river in this, so much awkward landmass to play around with, you know, Stalwart's victory, or at least their path towards it, to try and jump above Nigma Galaxy, might be a little bit tougher than they might have hoped for.
2 players from 628 crashing into 2 from Na'Vi. Not all regrouped just yet. Potential to find that regroup, but it's Tixi and Matic in the compound. Sunan get knocked there and will get flushed. That's another elimination, and backup arrives for Na'Vi as Matic does get traded. 628 looking to get this backup in as well as this fight devolves into an all-out bloodfest. Yu Yang around the side challenges Tixi and wins that one. Daoshi up on the top as well, looking to potentially push down. Get the backup against this Na'Vi squad. The nade from Meku pops in through and under the stairs. Daoshi is going to go straight on up and get out of dodge for there.
It was very dangerous from Daoshi there. I mean, just careening past that grenade. Could have gone off at any moment. Godlike starting to look towards this fight as well. They hear the fighting. They hear the gunshot. From India, Yu Yang up top side, very low here. Daoshi still in an awkward position, just has to play on the top. Kitsune, they'll find one, looks for another, close the door on him.
And it will get broken, will get bursted. Clutch God able to get that knock. Jonathan Rezable here as well. 628 still on their island on the stairs, looking for the reses, and they will be able to put two of them back standing tall here against the crash from Godlike. All four of them are alive, but looking for those reses. Still the nade up top, and it's good for one. Does a lot of damage, forces the jump over the side for Daoshi, and there's a fadeaway, and it's a team nade, miscommunication. Daoshi finds a second as well, and against Godlike, they're standing up. One more might just be able to do it. Daoshi with a drop shot, but it can't quite close down the push from Godlike, and the Indian players are going to be able to wipe out with a beautiful third party.
What should have been easy, though, John, turns into one knock and one elimination for Godlike, which is not what they were prepared for, what they wanted at all. Stalwart, on the other hand, they're moving over the top side of the map. Fortunately, Revo managed to find at least one knock there. I believe they might have got a flush through as well. Yes, they did. So now Stalwart only down to 3 players. On our screen, it is Furious Gaming versus Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce, he steps right into the firing line of Tiger Zin. Furious Gaming, they're able to find that knock pretty easily here. In comes a potential third party for Xavier, or are they just going to try and get ahead of the game and move in towards Rozhok? Rabis swiftly shifts into reverse there, gets back in the lake. Team Secret moving in from the north side, now Duck out in the water. Gonna have to sit on that one, but Fenerbahce now under pressure from Team Secret, and I think this is where they crumble.
Moving away from that fight, you know, with Rozhok just being so heavily contested by so many teams, there's not really an opportunity to leave a compound at this point in time, John.
Fortunate. Difficult ground ahead for so many of these teams. Down one with a pretty central Rozhok position, but they're surrounded on all fronts. They're going to have to fight out of that area if the circle doesn't shift towards them. Have to wait and see on that one.
I mean, for down one, finishing league finals up towards Yaz's side, you know, being able to play that one out in the concrete, in the jungle, you know, you'd imagine down one's really kind of perfected at this point in time. Their movements were crispy clean, so I'm hoping to see some of the same coming through from down one. But it's Fenerbahce somehow makes the 180, gets at least one from Ice Shot, but Team Secret will secure at least a position here on the eastern side. 4 rivals up towards the warehouse. Top side of Rozhok, so have some high ground to play around with here. The real question for me is when this next circle hits, because depending on where it goes, things can get real fishy real soon. If it heads up towards that north side, you're going to see a lot of fishies in that water.
Don't doubt it for a second. Absolutely. We are just waiting for this shrink, really. Nobody wants to make this move. Stalwart at the moment on the northern shore, 3 players alive, pretty close to Godlike, who also have 3 alive. But then you've got Alpha 7. They're going to be the arbiters on that northern edge, should it come down to that. We'll have to wait and see.
This is a winning position here for Alpha 7. You can't quite see it on your screen right now, but they're off to that northern side, that north coast. They can play downwards from here and just pick up parties that are trying to move across the bridge, across the water. So yeah, it really, really all does depend on this, because Alpha 7, yes, they couldn't get into Rozhok, but they tried to go for a gamble here. Unfortunately, does not pay off as we see the circle hit down towards that south side. A little bit more awkward, but it does see some teams safe. Down one gaming, S2G, 4 rivals.
Seeing that shift come up on screens in just a second there. A south coast shift, so now the crossing on the cards for Godlike, Stalwart and Alpha 7. Nova, I feel like actually in a pretty decent spot to stop this. The question is, what can they do to stop this descent from Alpha 7, from those teams up the north?
It's a bit tricky. The Infinity, though, they move immediately. They know they need to get into these buildings. They were right on that south side, playing the edge from Sosnovka military base, and now they can at least get a little bit of respite ahead of them. Unfortunately, teams see this come through. A lot of eyes are over towards them. Logan takes a fair few shots. Godtony goes down completely. Xavier, not really sure what they were doing. You know, there is a gamble, and then there is kind of putting yourself on the right of the edge of the coin, right? It never works out. It's so precarious playing this position, because they were playing for both Rozhok and the northern coast, and realistically playing here, I don't think it was the play.
4 rivals looking to pick up the points from the fish, casting the line out wide. Nova, Stalwart, Godlike, all in the water here. There's the crash. So you got just sends in right behind Nova as well. A bold choice, but really you don't have any other option.
Scry extremely low, will go down to the water itself. Pika, final player remaining here for Stalwart. Sees Clutch God off in the distance, zooming his way down towards the water side, but realistically it's this eastern side of the map that we're all looking towards at the moment. So much space on the western side though at the moment for Next Ruya to try and make their way in.
They're in the same vehicle. Clutch God and Paraboy, they're in the same vehicle. Oh, Clutch God takes them out. Oh my goodness me. What a way to go. And then Pemburu finds the third party onto that fight. Goodness me.
Kind of like Jurassic Park mode with Clutch God just scraping the top of the vehicle off with his claws and then sending the M4 in afterwards. Paraboy goes down to something he never expected there. Now Nova down to just 2. That's an awkward ending for them in the waters. Down 1 though, still sitting strong. Team Secret trying to make their way up the building, but it is uphill, and Down 1 will know it's coming for the time being. Like I said, Down 1 DXAV kind of playing the game of having your cake and also eating it, right? So we'll see what we can get done here. Right now, they are able to hold off Furious Gaming, who are really struggling on this eastern side with the help of Team Secret sending a few shots their way too.
A lot of nades being traded now. Dixavia suffering. I'm looking at Next Ruya's position right now and thinking they're on the outside of this town. If the circle shift out to the west, they might just be quids in, but they'll have to hope for that shift to come on through. Everybody's duking it out now. Team Secret, this core against Down 1 Gaming. This could be the decider for a really strong team position.
Yeah, this is an elevated position on the map, and we'll see where this next circle goes. Does head over towards Down 1 Gaming's position, but Jumper's making it work at the time being. They've found a way into the building. Forrest tries to go off against a few. Now Fabian remaining on the ground floor. Son comes in too to try and help out a little bit, and Team Secret crumbling.
Excellent crossfire set up there from Forrest and Fabian. Sung on the back of, as you say, and Jumper left out in the cold. The res is possible for Down 1 Gaming, and they might just be able to hold on to this position. Eye shots pretty much a goner here. Not much you can do, as Forrest looking to get res as well.
Oh dear me, what just happened there? Nice Molotov from Jumper, takes down 2 at least. It trickles down from the stairway, the fires like lava.
They are going to burn away. Now there's 3 players alive for Down 1. How much more does Jumper have left in the tank? Genie suppressing those angles, stopping those cheeky little shots. Godlike eliminated in the meantime. On the eastern side of the circle, it's still a bloodbath. Jumper left, last player alive as Nova go down on that shoreline. Stalwart's still in it, and Alpha 7, the only team to make a clean crossing. Well, I say clean, 2 of them have gone down already, Black.
Massive surprise for Pika to be able to make his way across the river there, all the way on that northern side. Alpha 7, like you say, trying to make their way in, but with only 2, not looking too likely. 4 rivals still holding down this warehouse position. Nice elevated ground for them to play from. 2 spots that they're holding, slightly dangerous if they take a couple of knocks, but I don't think they're in any danger as of yet.
Jumper still under pressure from Down 1, the last player from Team Secret. And the top dogs from the East League, he lines them up for the shooting gallery, he only gets 1, and it's not good enough. The res can come through, so able to see to that. Down 1 keep on trucking with 3.
Still really well played to Down 1 there. They know they're right on the eastern edge of this circle, so clearing out any insurgents in that area is extremely important to them. Now they can play from that eastern side very safely, dear me. He played ball with the top of the ridge there. It wasn't great.
Yeah, I feel like in a fight with a brick wall, it's very difficult to win in general.
Yeah, true.
Carrillo, last player for Alpha 7 though, as his teammate gets swept up. Pika on the off angle needs to be maybe worried about that as well. But Pika doesn't want to make a peek.
This game is extremely important. Already in 7th place, Stalwart sat in 3rd at the moment. Every point counts right now. Remember, this is a sprint in the grand finals. Carrillo almost finds 2 there. 4 rivals left, a little bit bad for worse for wear, but it says 2G going against Next Ruya.
Next Ruya, they are suffering, but all 4 of them are alive. 2 knocks go their way, but S2G lose 2 players full. A flush comes on out, and this, as you can see on the right side of your screen, Next Ruya, a team that is vying for that top spot. The longer they go on, the more Enigma Galaxy have to worry. Going out early, not good for them in this game.
Not at all. 4 limbs right now for S2G. Next Ruya sending some nades into that building. Problem is, next three is out of the circle. So S2G kind of have priority here, and the fight has to come to them. Down one, still extremely happy at this spot that they've managed to nick. Obviously, they're down to 3 players, not the best in the world. The Infinity somehow able to scrape their way through. Still, they're playing an uphill battle. See how far they can go. Still, for Down One Gaming, it's one of those tricky things of taking a fight with a 4-man team. They've got the smokes out, but it doesn't look like there's many meds on board for the Infinity, or at least all the boosters are gone.
Not in action. Infinity nading over towards Dam 1. Trying to bombard, and in goes next Ria, and it's just easy pickings for them. Look at that, S2G down and out. 4 rivals. Ooh, go a little bit too low over on that north side, but they will be able to deal with Stalwart down to 4.
Orman knows his hand. One of the biggest damage dealers coming through from the east, and he's got one of the biggest damaging guns in the game. See what he can get done with it. I do think that Down One has a nice clean sweep on that eastern side, though, to look across here. Infinity very much out in the open. It just depends how aggressive do Down One Gaming want to be. There are still nades been sent over their position, so you would have thought that Down One's going to play a little bit cooler. 4 rivals, though. It's been a long time coming. And it's sad that Max hasn't predicted them for a chicken dinner, didn't get a single one in the East League, and now they're looking for one here in the Grand Finals.
I mean, what a place to do it as well. 4 rivals go for the crash. All 4 of them survive it. They will weather that first phase of the fight, but now is the hour. They will start to struggle, and there you go. The knocks start to come through thick and fast onto the team. Now 2 players standing, but the building being held out effectively by Next Ruya, with the third parties from Down One and the Infinity all looking this way. 4 rivals burning on up, and blank. I don't think Max would have wanted to predict them now.
Not at all. And this is the problem with 4 rivals. Their execution is shoddy. No one is tipping them for that. Next Ruya will be able to rebuff them there. Not sure what 4 rivals were thinking. They played so patient for so long, and then all of a sudden, felt like an adrenaline shot had been shot into their veins in that moment. They were ready to go, but go to hell they do. Now it's Down One Gaming versus the Infinity. As well as next Ruya, the Infinity able to still hold on this ridgeline, but like I said, those meds are limited. Fabian, but beautiful nade over the top jump.
I think everyone's meds are limited at this point. Blank nades have been flying for so long. Another nade actually does a lot of damage to Logan. If Sung can land another from this garage, it might be just that double knock, a crucial position, but Logan goes down as well, looking for more. Down One Gaming swing out wide. God Tunny needs to be careful on this ridge line. The nade gonna suppress them back just a little bit further, but God Tunny is on the fight. They're worried about the smoke. They haven't cleared this ground, but the swing is good. It's well principled here, and out wide he goes. Sung now knows the position, stops that res coming through, looks for the damage over towards God Tunny, peeking around the side of the vehicle, but not quite finding the licks. And Mallet goes down in the meantime. Next Ruya still crunching down from the top side. Down One Gaming swing.
Really well played, Down One Gaming, holding off 2 teams at the same time right now. This is why they're playing it slow. They know they have to deal with next Ruya next, so they can't let them get out of this building. The smokes have been laid down at the moment, John, but can they keep these players concealed for much longer?
Logan gets up, but God Tunny goes down, and it's a 1-2 punch to take down the Infinity. Down One Gaming from South Korea, looking to take on next Ruya, who, by the way, second place on the
Nice
table.
nade.
They're going to be happy with this. A nice nade through the window. Doesn't matter really the result for next Ruya, but they do want more. Down One Gaming, though, too strong here in Rossok. 1 kill goes their way, and they're looking for the last as well. The sprays are out wide. Fabian looks for the nail in, but he's on the swivel. Frozen finds 1, looks for Sung as well. He gets it done! Next Ruya, no way did they make that happen! Down One Gaming fall at the final hurdle, and somehow, some way, the team from the west jumped the tables.
Frozen's got ice running through his veins in those final moments to make a clutch like that happen in the Grand Finals. It is not easy, ladies and gentlemen, to make that one happen, but the smoke keeps him at bay. That was so well done for Chaos Ruya. Honestly, Frozen, what a champion in those final moments. And they were fighting through thick and thin there towards the end. But S2G plow through them, then plow through 4 rivals. And to finish it off versus Down One Gaming, goodness me, what a flop at the end there.
That was so unfortunate for Down One Gaming. I mean, it felt like that. I mean, I was pretty much, I was speaking about it like they'd already
I know.
They already got that knock. They had 3 players alive. It was 1v3. He was out in the open. And it felt like they just didn't have that comms on. I mean, you saw them earlier in that map. just on that spraying into that smoke, like they didn't know anyone
They don't do
was
it at the
there.
end.
They didn't check it. They didn't play at the end, but it felt like those comms were maybe not quite on board right at the end. They're a little bit chaotic, maybe getting a little bit too far ahead of themselves. But credit to next through. I mean, they had a tough game in that one.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Nextry. Honestly, great use of smoke. Let's see what the desk has to say about this one.
Let it go, boys. You can't hold him back anymore. My boy Frozen, we've talked about him so many times over the course of this year, being such a dominating force in Turkey, and I'm so happy to see him come into his own here at the PMGC Grand Finals, coaching things out 1v3, getting next year their first victory here on the board. Guys, I'm so happy to see this, and I'm so happy for Turkey as well.
Yeah, I think they had so much time at the end they could have built a snowman almost. Like, it was just a really good opportunity for Frozen. And the Turkish God, to be honest, he's been the player that we continuously bring back. If it's not Solke, it's going to be Frozen X, right? And he's just able to get himself that great finish towards down one. And took, what was it, 1v2, I think, towards the end of to make sure he secured that win. So great execution. The elevation was lost on down one. They got to take that box away from 7, apparently, if they want to win that elevation again, because they just didn't have it there.
Listen, it happens, right? Damn, son, you threw that. They had it. I wish they would have been able to clutch it. I do enjoy. I was actually really impressed by how Frozen was able to clutch up there. We haven't really seen him throughout today so far. Some of his other teammates have been stepping up. So for him to be able to clutch up again and showcase the skills that he was able to showcase on the West League Finals, it's really impressive to me.
Well, we are seeing the results here from the last match, and always, as we saw, Damwon getting second, and well, 4 rivals. There was a glimmer of hope. Max looked really giddy and ready to go to call them out as being a victor. But unfortunately, as we get into the Super Weekends, we get into the Grand Finals, they didn't pull it out.
With 4 rivals, something I did not enjoy, Max, and I know we're going to point this out. With Alpha 7, their push was just super sloppy. They got super lucky that nobody else was there, but if another team might have been able to kind of third-party that, I feel like it would have been a completely different story for them.
Okay, so the fact that X-Ray is first place is already impressive, but look at how far they are ahead of every team in eliminations. 30 compared to 18 second place, 19th and 3rd and 4th. They are dominating this lobby.
With the same amount of chicken dinners too, it just goes to show the consistency we've been seeing from Nextria, with the consistency we've been able to see also from Enigma Galaxy is absolutely insane. But Infinity,
what's happening?
I just saw that. I thought, like, this is not normal. Do
can't
we have
be
an
right.
issue? What is the database wrong?
Well, to be fair, this last game, again, they played for placements. In the one before on Senat, they played for placements. I just did not expect them to have 4.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I mean, look at everything around them. 19, 18, 14, 18. They actually have the least eliminations in the entire lobby.
The thing, if they were on par with the rest of the teams in terms of eliminations, they would be top 3 currently. So they need to step up big time when it comes to getting those frags. If they don't do so, the teams that are getting those big frag games, they're going to be stepping up.
Even 6 to 8 in last place, they have 6.
Navi, second to last place, they had 10.
What is going on here? Infinity, we coined you as being such a consistent team and so good. I mean, to be fair, they're technically in like 3rd, 4th place, right? They're still doing really well, but this is not the Infinity that we expect to come into this entire event.
Yeah, they're not a team that relies purely on
Losing,
placement
where
points.
you at, man?
Yeah, exactly. We talked about it. They can all frag out, right? That was the big success of the team in the league stage and also in the league finals. They could all frag out individually. We haven't seen that right now. They're all focused around macro, and I think that coming into a global event like this is their first time on this stage. Maybe they're taking that first day as a test, but like those eliminations are lacking big time.
I'm glad you mentioned that. In a way, I don't mind what they're currently doing, right? For LMs, it is a little bit scary, but at least they're making sure they're securing those placement points that do matter. And as you said, maybe they are trying something different here for day 1, but tomorrow, if they're able to continue doing what they're doing right now and as well be able to get those LMs, we can be talking completely different about them.
Yeah.
They could be in that first place.
That's a good point. And the thing for me is, and this is what I always say when it comes to like having a balance between placements and eliminations, you're never going to be that number 1 team if you can't balance things out. They're not going to get number 1 off placements alone. They need to get those eliminations. And the difference between 1st and 2nd place is $900,000. That's what 7 gets in an event after working, 10 days. Like that's insane. And Infinity has to step up if they want to take home that 1.5.
I'm glad you mentioned the marriage between the Elam points and the placement points, because I was actually surprised by another team there, and it's Alpha 7. Usually Alpha 7 is a big team in regards to Elams. Their Elam points are always outweighing their placement points. Right now, They have the exact same number, which is super impressive, and it goes to speak volumes of the way they're currently playing. They're readjusting themselves. They're being able to just play a completely different game than what we're used to, and I think it's really, really promising.
I think one thing that's helped them out, especially a lot here, is that all the hot drops we thought would potentially happen, except the one on Miramar that actually went down. But they didn't even take the fight versus Enigma Galaxy, right? They're avoiding every single one of those fights early on to make sure they have a big opportunity to make it towards that late game. So I'm enjoying how Alpha 7 actually adapted here, because sure, they were really good when it comes to fragment power, but their macro is absolutely on point, and I'm just loving it here, Jason.
Yeah, and I think it's so hard to be good at macro when you're going into a lobby with, 9 teams from East out of nowhere if you're coming as a West team, and then obviously you have a team coming from India for Godlike. I feel like, Godlike have probably had the toughest position out of any team out there. They just recently. Well, I say that, right? They obviously have, because they haven't played at international events like this in over a year, in like 2 years of time, right? But they also were the team who's played the most recent, right? So they're actually the most warmed up compared to all these other teams. But we've seen some good things out of them. We saw them had a really good fight up against 628, if I'm not mistaken, where they actually did pick up the final elimination onto them. But I'm hoping to see a little bit more out of Godlike. But to be fair, there's a lot of teams out there I'm expecting more out of.
Yeah.
Godlike's being completely different than what we saw in the first two matches. Remember, they were playing that late circle pushed in. Now they're willing to third party, and the fight you were talking about is 628 fighting Navi.
Navi,
Godlike decided to just jump in there, be able to finish Navi, which I think is huge. Not only that, it's a big confident booster for these players as well. And on top of that, they were able to push on 628 and eliminate them as well.
Yeah, I have the impression that Godlike, when you're looking back on this game in particular, I feel like they were pressured by the circle very heavily, and they were forced into a decision that they didn't want to make. I think if they just took a little bit of a step back and waited a little bit longer, they would have seen that great opportunity to wrap around the more western side, enter through southwest, and that could have even given them a great opportunity to enter to Rozok and get a really good position to fight from, potentially even behind Infinity. I think there are still opportunities that they are lacking to find, but it's still a really good step up for, once again, a team that you said did not have that competitive experience on the global stage for a long time now.
I mean, speaking of that, if we look at another team, only one player on their roster has had the international experience, and he actually had it here last year with Class Ditch Athletics. S2G with Silas, S2G in particular, 7. I mean, you were a big proponent of this team. We've talked about it yesterday as a team you expected to potentially win the whole thing. How do you feel like they've been doing so far over the course of today? Have they lived up to your expectations, or do you think they're falling a little bit short?
I feel like they've been playing how I expect them to. It's still that first day. This is a team that's kind of readjusting. We're talking about Nova. We're trying to figure out if these two teams were going to clash, and so far it hasn't happened. So they might be able to readjust to that tomorrow, being able to, okay, now that thing that we were really worried about is not actually happening. So we might be allowed to play our game even better. We also haven't really seen Timber. I feel like Timber was a big part of their game, especially in the West. If we can see him pop off a little bit more, this is a team that has the potential to win. And I mean, we have seen them win some engagements too.
Yeah, they won actually quite a few of them. I think that what we're lacking to see right now from S2G in particular is that really aggressive nature that we mentioned many times, and when we have those conversations, right, is they are a team that if they see an opportunity, they're going to strike instantly, and they're going to get that position under control. Hasn't happened just yet, but you've got to keep in mind, despite Silas having that Pmgc experience last year, the three other players don't. So I think after today, Silas is going to take the team, reformat things, and potentially reset the mentality of the team to try and get things working forward in day 2, in day 3, hopefully. So just a little bit more time, and I think the S2G is going to come in hot tomorrow.
I mean, to be fair though to Timber, I mean, if we looked at the start of the day, right, our 2 MVPs from East and from West, and he was up against Nuzi, and Nuzi just is even playing right now. I mean, because obviously they have 4 eliminations for Infinity. Like, both MVPs from the league stage out of each region have not performed at all. And obviously it's much more difficult to go from league stage East and West to this now, because you're playing against so many different styles and so many teams maybe you're not too familiar with. But the fact is, you can't have people on your team that you expect to perform not perform in a grand finals if you want to win.
Yeah, that's something we've been talking about for a minute too, right? How deep is your roster, and those superstar players that you've been relying on, are they going to be able to pop off? Another one that kind of pops right at the top of my head is going to be Furious Gaming. I had picked them for a team to watch in the last one. They showed me some things, but they just haven't really shown me the potential to be a winning team, the potential to be a championship team. They rely too heavily on Poppy Poacher. That was a player that was able to pop off as well during Wesley. We haven't even been able to mention them. We haven't seen any stats from them yet. So it'll be interesting to see if that team is going to be able to readjust to that. I am happy with the readjustments we have seen from Godlike, from Alpha 7. Another team I would like to see some readjustments from is Navi.
Boom! We didn't even practice that. I knew you were going to say
I
that.
feel out of place.
They're just that disappointment team. Like you were talking about it earlier. I kind of told myself, do not pick them this season. They're gonna be disappointing you so far. That's exactly what they're doing. They start off super slow.
Yeah.
I feel like in the finals for West, they ended up in second place, but I feel like things went their way too good. They weren't really met with any confrontation from some of the other teams. It was too easy for them, and right now they're just putting themselves in a big hole.
Yeah, what I mentioned earlier, right? I have the impression they have blinders on. They got their own little bubble in which they're taking a fight. For example, the 5 versus 6 duet, right?
Yep.
When well at the start initially, and then you have that third party from Godlike that they had no idea that was going to happen, right? So I think that a little bit more map awareness, even if it's just having a scout that's maybe scouting a little bit more than usual, I think that could be something that could unlock potential for Navi. But right now, the way they're acting things is good for fights, but when it comes to the macro, things are just topsy-turvy. It's not working out.
Something different that they worked for Navi there in the last one, they didn't decide to hot drop with
That was good.
opposite 7.
Yeah.
They actually decided to go a little bit south of George.
Okay, well, you know what? We have a lot of hopes for Navi here going forward into the rest of the day, and of course, the rest of the tournament as well. But before we can even get into the rest of the day, we have to head to a short break. And when we do come back, we'll be heading into our 5th and penultimate match of the day.